Hey guys, how's it going? I am coming to you guys with a new video idea. I decided that I wanted to kind of do a series to help not only new moms, but new parents out, try and help you guys really just break down everything that you need to know about parenting. Try the best you can. If you're wondering why I have my hand, it just seems easier because I like to do a lot of things with my hands. So we're gonna get into the video. But first, okay, everybody, how about let's get ourselves a snack, get a cup of coffee, tea, whatever you drink, water if you're pregnant, and let's get right into the video. Where does baby even sleep? Now, some of you guys might already know or have somewhat of an idea of where you want your baby to sleep, but we're going to break everything down. We're also going to be talking about sleeping accessories. So, also, if you know a parent, maybe they're a new parent, feel free to send them this video. This can help a lot of people. I go over the pros and cons, the whole shebang. So let's get started. So let's start with the big picture on why sleeping with a baby is just so confusing. You have a lot of big industries telling you, oh, use this, oh, use this, what about this? And sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming. And I'm here to help you just break it down a little bit. Don't panic. I got your back. So we're going to talk about safety versus convenience versus budget. So keep that in mind if you're on a budget. So first and foremost, you guys already know about the crib. Everybody has heard of a baby crib before. They are, longevity-wise, probably the best, also the safest route to go. The cons are the space that they take up and the cost. Now, if you plan on getting a crib that's going to last your child throughout their life, then it is a great investment. But you need to make sure that along with the crib, you're also buying the extra stuff because they have extra stuff and they get you with that one. You do have to buy I think it's a conversion kit that they call it. I don't know the exact name that they refer to it as. It is some type of conversion kit to where you can make it into a different kind of bed. All right, then we have the bassinet. Now, it's great to have on your bedside. It's very newborn friendly. The only problem is the longevity is just not there. Now, if you don't mind spending that pretty penny for, let's say you have the room for both, right? You have a separate room, a nursery, whatever. And then you decide that you want a bassinet just for those newborn phases while baby's still little. You want them by your bed. That's fine if you have the money for it. So just keep that in mind. You might not want to do both. If you have the money, then go for it. Either way, no judgment here. The other great option you have is a mini crib. Now it is exactly like a crib, just smaller. So obviously you'll be able to save space. They tend to be portable, so they might have like wheels on it or those pads that are just like easier to move. So that way, you can move it wherever you need to go, whether you want it closer to the bed or you want it up against the wall, totally up to you. The great thing about mini cribs is they also have conversion kits. I've seen the conversion kits go up to a twin size bed where a regular crib can do a full size bed. So just that you're aware, those are options you have. You also do have cribs that go into twin size, but if you are going to go with, you need something for a smaller space and then eventually, get bigger. The only thing is that not all mini cribs will turn into a regular crib or will give you that space. So you're going to need something between mini crib and a toddler. So, but if you need that for your space, you like I said, everybody has a different situation. I don't know your particular situation. but I just want to give you all the information, The other thing with mini cribs is that you're going to have limited options when it comes to mattresses because they do have to be specially made, and you're not going to have the accessories readily available. So when you go into stores, they will have the crib mattresses. Sometimes they have a fitted sheet for pack and plays. Sometimes even for pack and play mattresses, I've seen some Walmarts have or other stores. But mini crib fitted sheets are a lot harder to find. So just so you're aware. Also, for mini cribs, the resale value. Now, another option you could go with a pack and play. Now, pack and play, although they're not as sturdy as a crib, and you are going to have to figure out some workarounds. They're also not as safe as a crib, but they're still safe. So hear me out, okay? So you have multiple different types of pack and plays. You have your regular schmegular pack and play, right? Easily, I believe, I've seen them for like $40. Just your regular schmegular, like nothing special, whatever, right? You also have ones that come with changing tables that come with another layer. And you have ones that come with a bassinet. And the great thing about having the bassinet is that you have a newborn stage. Then you have the bottom pack and play for later on that kind of acts like a crib. But you need to make sure that you get the right pack and play mattress if you're going to use your pack and play as a crib. Okay, this is really important. I am all about preaching safety for your child. We do not want kids getting, I'm all about safety here. I will talk about other safety things that will come up, but I want to make sure that you guys know with a pack and play, you do have multiple use. You can have it depending on which one you get. You can have a changing table. You can have a bassinet. My pack and play, I don't have a baby yet, but hopefully soon. My pack and play has a bassinet that also rocks. So you can rock the baby to sleep like that. Yeah. I love it. But I'm also planning on buying a mattress. Like I said, once you take out the changing table and you take out the bassinet, right? There is another level. You don't want baby sleeping on that level, okay? It'll be convenient for like when baby gets bigger, you need to change baby or whatnot. Don't that level. We want the bottom level, okay? You get a mattress, you put it on there, fitted sheet only. It doesn't matter what you're putting baby in, whether it's a crib, mini crib, bassinet, whatever. Fitted sheets only. You don't want accessories in there. Why? We have too many babies dying out here of SIDS, and we don't want, so many things can just suffocate baby, okay? You don't want things around the baby's head, whatever, right? The most you want, like let's say hypothetically you're in a situation where you're somewhere not normal that you're normally at, right? You want things on the side of the baby at most, like that's like extreme situation, right? But that's like tucked into the baby so the baby doesn't roll over, and that's when the baby's older. That being said, you want to be careful. Make sure you get the fitted sheets, okay? Cons about the pack and play, it's not for longevity. You're not going to have that thing forever, it's not going to turn into another bed or some pack and plays. You get your wear and tear with the first baby, so if you're planning on having multiple babies, you might not want to be the route you want to go. Also, it's not as safe as having a crib, right? So, I'm not saying that it's that much unsafer. Like, what I'm trying to say is if you have your regular pack and play without the mattress versus a crib, that's not safe. If you're going to use the pack and play as a sleeping place, you need to have the right mattress. It's about an inch and a half. Make sure it's fitted to the pack and play. So if you need to, make sure you get your measurements for your pack and play. Pack and play is for my budget queens, especially if you're not planning on having multiple babies. If you're just having the one, or let's say you're like me, you've had them too far apart. And I don't say too far apart. I love that my children are going to be far apart, right? My 2 kids right now, they are 9 years apart, almost 10 years. And which is kind of what my mom ended up doing with me and my sister. And so I accidentally repeated it. But yeah, they're 9 years apart. So I didn't need all the bells and whistles with him either. And I also did other sleeping styles, which I will get into. Because I'm not perfect, okay? I'm not perfect, but I'm here to be your big sister so you don't make the mistakes I make. Yeah. I got you. So anyways, point being is you want to be as safe as possible. You have to excuse me. Sometimes I go off on tangents. I promise I'll try to keep them as related as possible, okay? Now, we do have side sleepers, okay? You get to be as close as you want to the baby. They have this little thing that tends to drop down, so you can touch the baby. The baby can feel your warmth or whatever. They're very adjustable. Again, this is one of those things that it's more of a luxury, but if I would have known about this, I would have gotten this with my first one. Now, obviously, you're going to have a shorter time. You have to make sure that you install it perfectly. There's a lot of pros and cons to everything. And as I'm going through them, obviously, you're seeing things flashing up. Some of them I'm going into detail about, some of them I'm not going into detail about. I just want to make sure you have all the information. You have all the information, okay? It's not as sturdy as having a bed, obviously, because most of them are made of plastic or what other material. So there are safety risks with everything, right? The next one that we're going to get into is the biggest safety risks. Now, before I get into this, I want to emphasize that this is a no judgment zone type channel, okay? Not here to judge you. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your life. I'm here to give you the information. I'm here to help you in any way that I can, right? If I come off judgmental, I apologize. I'm blunt. So I want to get into that first before I get into this next, because it's a hot topic, okay? I might sound like I'm being judgmental at times. I'm just giving you the information so that way you have all the bells and whistles and you can make whatever decision is right for you. If you came back and told me, hey, Sky, I understand that you told me XYZ, but I still decided to go with this thing, I'm not judging you. You do whatever you have to do that makes you feel like the best mommy you can be. Okay? I'm not paying your bills. Ain't nobody else on this internet paying your bills. You have to do it safer. So if I say something that sounds like I'm being judgmental or judging other moms for their choices, I promise you that's not what my mindset is. That's just kind of what it sounds like sometimes, right? Because I'm blunt. I'm very blunt and very to the point. So, since we've gotten into that, okay, we're going to talk about co-sleeping. And I don't mean with the side sleeper with a crib right next to your bed. I'm talking about baby in the bed, okay? There is a reason why that the AAD, there is a reason why the AAP does not suggest this for overnight sleeping. Obviously, you can roll over on the bed. Now, I say this as somebody who did co-sleep. I didn't know any better. And again, this is why I'm trying to be your big sister and help you out so you don't make the mistake I made. Now, I didn't make any mistakes as far as I rolled over on my baby. Didn't have that issue. As a matter of fact, we had a full-size bed and her little tiny behind would always somehow kick me off the bed. So I kept rolling off the bed. But it could have ended a lot worse. And if I would have known back then what I know now, I wasn't convinced by somebody else that this was the right thing to do, I would have not done it. I would have tried to find a better way to make our situation work because we ran in a situation where I could have a crib, basically. They can be great for when you want to take naps or if you need to breastfeed. It's very convenient, but it is not safe, especially if you have one of those nice, soft, squishy type of beds. You like to have a bunch of pillows. The babies, I'm going to be honest with you, they don't need all the bells and whistles. I'm going to show you with my little baby, okay? This is This is what your baby needs. On the back, sleeping on the back. Don't let your baby sleep on the belly. They can also suffocate like that too. I say suffocate. Okay, this is all you need. Let's pretend this is a mattress with a fitted sheet. And that's it. Okay, you don't want any pillows, blankets. Oh, my baby will get cold. Well, then we're going to put on thick layers of clothes, okay? Don't. The baby doesn't need to sleep somewhere soft. That's the other thing. Firm mattress. Hear me when I say this. Firm mattress. Okay, look at me in my eyes. Firm mattress. We don't want the baby on something soft. That's for you. That's not for the baby. The baby does not need something soft. The baby needs something firm. That's why you will hear that another option is when, like, let's say you're in a rocking chair or something, or you're on the couch and the baby is sleeping on you. Pediatricians will say that's fine for a nap, for the baby to sleep on you because you are firm. You're not soft and squishy. Hopefully you're not soft and squishy. I mean, if you're a mom and you have tatas, that's fine. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not a soft bed. The baby doesn't need to sleep somewhere soft. Okay. So with the baby co-sleeping with you, they have a high risk of suffocating with the blankets, with the pillows, between the parents, right? Or if you are a single parent, again, no judgment. I was a single parent. They can suffocate within you. They don't even have to whatever. Like, they can be in a position where they can just end up suffocating just being next to you because you are so big and they are so little, right? Like, just sleeping like this. Like, let's say this is your arm or something, or your hand or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not hard. It's not hard for a baby to suffocate. It's not safe. And especially if you smoke, again, no judgment. If you smoke, if you drink, if you need to take something to get to sleep, it's the even higher risk. The more you add on to that layers, the higher risk of something negative happening to the baby. And I don't want that to happen to your baby. You know what I'm saying? We want your baby to be as safe as possible. As we're talking about sleeping situations, I need to bring up something that's another hot button. The baby loungers, okay? I know a lot of the cookie cutter, almond, oatmeal colored house moms love them a baby lounger, whether it's the brand name one. I'm not going to say because I don't want to get sued. The cheap ones, the curved ones, whatever. Don't get me wrong, they're so cute. And if you're using it just to take pictures, girl, you do that, okay? But you do not need to go and spend $100 or whatever amount of money. It's a safety risk, right? Even if you're leaving baby for a second, it's a safety risk. Even if you're right there with baby folding clothes and they're between your legs, it's a safety risk, okay? It's cute to be bougie and to take pictures, that's fine. But you have to be so careful. And if I see a comment saying, oh, I have a baby sleeper lounger and it was fine. That's fine. That's great. Oh, we got nothing wrong with it. That's great. I'm so happy for you. But I don't want if there's even a 1% chance that can happen to somebody else, I'd rather give them that information. And they can choose to do what they want. Like, if you choose to get you a baby lounger and do whatever you're going to do, you do that. I would suggest, instead of going and getting a baby lounger, go get a Moses basket. They're cute. They're adorable. You can get a nice little firm mattress piece in there. Take your pictures or put your baby in there for a second if you have to, right? If you have to get something for the aesthetics. Moses basket. They're safer. Okay? Not the flimsy ones. The side flimsy ones. No. Like one that's stationary, hard, it's not going to fold over. You don't have to worry about something getting in the baby's face. Just for safety. You have all kinds of other things you couldn't put the baby in if you need to not have the baby on you at the time. There's so many tools. We'll get into it in another video, but there's so many ways to just not do the lounger. So safety precaution. If you can go without using a baby lounger, do that. All right, let's talk about sleeping accessories. Let's talk about blanket swaddles. So it is a simple, square, or rectangular, soft blanket, usually cotton, muslin, or bamboo. You wrap it around the baby. The baby's arms are tucked in inside of the blanket. Then you fold it snugly, not too tight. Usually about a diamond fold or a burrito type wrap method. Just kind of depends on like your preference or whatever you want to call it. Now, the great thing about having that type is that it's very adjustable. Your baby is going to go from different sizes. You can adjust it how you please. It is budget friendly, so you don't have to worry about it necessarily costing an arm and a leg compared to the other things that we're going to be talking about. It's also versatile, so you can use it as a burping cloth or a nursing cloth. If you're nursing, you can use it to cover up. So you can use it as a blanket. It has multiple uses. You're not just using it for one little thing. The problem or the cons with blanket swaddles is that they can be difficult to get a hang of. My children did not like being swaddled. No matter how many times I tried to get them into swaddles, they would break out. And I will admit, I was not good at swaddling. No. Even though I did that with my sisters, I learned how to swaddle the babies with my sisters. I was not as good as my parents at swaddling. I still did not get even better with my own children or with anybody else's children. And my kids did not like it. They broke out of it. My sisters loved it. My kids did not like it. Okay. The other thing too is if you're in a hurry, having to swaddle them is not the business. If you can swaddle your life away. Trust me, it's going to be a lot cheaper. Okay. Velcro/zipper swaddles. Special swaddles with Velcro or zippers to make wrapping quick and secure. Sometimes called a pod or a sleep sack. Swaddles. How it works? Baby is placed inside the swaddle and fastened in a Velcro or zipper around the arms. The great thing about having a zipper or a Velcro swaddle is it's really easy. You just done. Okay? All done. You don't need to worry about with the Velcro ones, you might have to worry a little more than the zipper ones. But they're great. They're adjustable. They get the job done. You don't have to worry, am I doing this right? You're doing it right. Okay? The issue that you can come across with some Velcro and zipper swaddles is that they are less versatile than the blanket swaddles. So you are only going to be able to use it as swaddle. You're not going to be able to use it as a blanket, as a nursing cover, as this, as that. You're just not going to be able to do that. Some of them come sized. So you're going to have small, medium, large for your baby, depending on the size of your child. They are labeled by age. As in the future, we'll get into how clothes are labeled. It doesn't mean your child has to fit in those clothes. That's just how they size. That's just average baby size, right? Some babies stay into smaller clothes. It's the same thing with swaddles. With the Velcro, you will have an easier time for the baby to get out because they'll, you know what I'm saying? With the zipper ones, they're a lot more fastened. And again, you'll just have to worry about sizing. It's not that big of a deal, to be honest. It's more when they're smaller, you want to keep them swaddled up and stuff like that. Or if you're going into your winter months, because I don't know what weather is like for you. I know here in Northern California, it can get quite cold. So I'm definitely going to, depending on what seasons we're in, when I do eventually have, my eyes are deep. Depending on what seasons I do have a baby in, depending on how much swaddling I'm going to really need to do. So I will say you will also need to swaddle in the newborn stages, and I believe up to 3 months. Don't quote me, ask your pediatrician. But the first stages, babies are going to come out cold. They're going to be cold for a long time. So make sure you bundle up that baby. A sleep sack, also called a wearable blanket, usually is basically a sleep sack, also called a wearable blanket, is basically a baby safe blanket you wear. It's designed to keep your baby warm without loose blankets, reducing the risk of suffocation or SIDS. Now, what is it? Think of sleeveless or a sleeved bag for your baby. Baby slides in, zips, snaps. The great thing about having a sleep sack is that it does reduce the need of blankets. You were probably thinking when I was explaining to you earlier, well, what if my baby gets cold, you know? What if the pajamas I put on my baby is not enough? I need to make sure that my baby is going to be warm, you know? I live in such and such environment. I need to make sure. Don't worry. I told you I got you. I got all your baby needs, okay? Sleep sacks. Sleep sacks are great. Let me see if I can find one so I can show you. I'm sure I have one. So this is a 2-in-1. I got this for free. This is a sleep sack swaddle. Now, this sleep sack part is this part, right? That's the swaddle part is this part. I'll open this for you. See, we have instructions. Okay, so this is a sleep sack because the sack is on the bottom, right? We have a zipper situation, so we can zip the baby into it. I'm not gonna, I am doing. So we can zip the baby into it, right? Well, then the arms come out here. Now, in a normal sleep sack, you have these free, okay? You have them free. Baby's arms are all out and about. Just imagine without the sides. That is a sleep sack. The baby gets nice and zipped up in there. And this one's thin. They also have thicker ones, like much thicker ones, okay? Then you have the baby's arms out and you're just like, well, I need my baby to be swaddled. That's where that comes in. You know what I'm saying? This is great for a 2-for-1. Okay, keeping the baby warm and keeping them swaddled. This is amazing. It is from Halo, so it's a bit expensive. But if you're looking for a double situation, that is great. They also have these types of sleep sacks where you have the long for the arms. You know what I'm saying? Those are the thicker material ones. They also have the ones without, so you don't have to worry about, you know, if you want the baby's arms out, you can have the baby's arms out. If you want a thicker, like more of a pajama material, they have. So they have options for whatever your needs are. I know some people live in much colder places than California or most of California. We do have mountains and stuff like that. So we do have cold places. What I'm saying, I know you guys might have cold places you need to be, or you are. So they do have thicker material. Don't worry about it. We went over, they have the sleeveless type. They also have ones with sleeves. They have traditional, convertible. Whatever your heart desires, I guarantee you, there is a sleep sack or a swaddle that fits that narrative. I promise you. I have so many that if I had the time, I could show you. I will also, in the baby clothing type, I'll also show you more. One. Okay. Again, thinner, softer material. Baby gown. Okay. So, baby gown. Okay. You're like, why is it tied off right here? I got you. So let's say in the middle of the night, your baby's been having blowouts lately, right? Easy access. Easy access. Okay. You're going to have a lot of nights where your baby might be having blowouts. Okay. And I know it seems silly, especially if you have a boy. They're like, oh, I don't want my baby wearing a dress. Not a dress. Okay. You just take this. tie it up like this, your baby stays warm, whatever. It's good because some babies, honestly, they do. They wake up in the middle of the night, they don't want to be changed or whatever. Every baby's different. So you're going to have different situations with different babies. And that's why it's so great to have different types of sleeping sacks, different type of swaddles, different type of sleeping situations for whatever your baby needs. I know it's overwhelming. I know it's a lot, right? But I promise you, whatever your needs are, there's something baby for it. White noise machine. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get into it. White noise machine is a device that plays a constant soothing sound to mask background noises. Think of a gentle that helps a baby feel calm and a safe, similar sound to what they've heard in the womb. I couldn't get into all of the details of why white noise machines are great. But as we're going to hear in the future, and as I'm going to tell you, every baby's different. Not every baby takes to a white sound machine. It just happens. Some babies prefer a lot of noise and a lot of chaos. Some babies prefer complete silence. My eldest, she worked well with noises. My sisters were really young. I was 21 when I had my first. That would have made the eldest of my 3 sisters 11. Then I want to say 7. It's not 7, it's 8. Then about 5. I believe that was the age difference. And you're like, how are you? They were 3 years apart from each other, 9 years apart from me. It's usually about 10 years, kind of how close it is. So yeah, she was about 11 or 12. Then we have about 8 or 9, about 5 or 6. So my sisters were young. They wanted to play. They wanted to be loud and all those other things, right? They're not thinking about a baby or whatever else. You know what I mean? They're just worried about having fun, as kids should. So my daughter got used to hearing all the noise and this and that and that and that from my sisters because I lived with my parents. So she got used to hearing slamming of doors and whatnot. However, my son, because it was just us and his sister, he did not like too much noise. He wanted it to be quiet. He did not like loud noises. Granted, he wasn't sleeping much anyways. Okay? My kid was not sleeping much anyways. Now, he has to have something going on in the background. He changed. He grew up. Even at 6 years old, he falls asleep to watching a video. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, Sky, why would you let him do that? You shouldn't be letting him have screen time or XYZ of reasons why you think that my child should not be doing that. I sleep the same way. I have to have something on, or else I'm not even joking you. I can be completely exhausted. I will be laying in that bed for 3 hours solid. I wish I was joking. I'm not. He is the same exact way. He sleeps the same way as I do. I used to have headphones on, so he didn't hear them. And eventually, somewhere along the way, it changed. The other thing, too, is he has autism. So he has a lot of mytisms, and that's one of them. The cons of having a white noise machine is for some babies can be overstimulating, like it was for my son. My son didn't like it at first. Eventually, he made his own white noise with watching videos. And then other babies can become codependent to where if you are on vacation or whatever, you're going to have to take it with you. You're going to need a portable one. Not that that's really that much of an issue. Honestly, I found one for $10. So you can find an inexpensive one, especially for portable. Or you can just get a simple little, if you are really like on a budget, you can get, I bought this for $5 at Walmart. Oh, I don't need $5. Simple. Hook it up to your phone. Just make sure you have to charge your phone. That's the only thing that sucks is you can't use your phone with it. Or if you have one of those apps where you can, then maybe you can. But if you're not somebody who's constantly on your phone or you have a separate thing for this, $5 right there. Okay? Simple. Okay, baby monitors. A monitor is a device that helps you keep an eye or an ear on your baby when you're not in the same room, and it gives parents peace of mind and helps ensures the baby's safety and safe and sound. So, auto monitors. It's 2 devices most of the time, sometimes 3. 2 devices, right? It's like a walkie-talkie. One goes wherever the baby is, and you're listening for the noise, and then you have the other one, okay? Now, once in a while, you can get transmission from somebody else around. If you have the type of ones that you are only receiving sound from the baby, it's not going to be an issue. If you have the type of audio monitor that you can talk to your baby and it'll hear, do know that if there's people around on the walkie-talkie in the same frequency as you, they can chime in. Not that they're going to necessarily know what's going on, but that has happened, so that you're aware it can possibly happen. So my advice would just be getting a baby monitor where on the baby side, you're only receiving sound, you're not projecting sound. Cons, you don't have a visual on the baby. So let's say you're in a 2-story house, you can hear the baby crying and whatnot, but you're not going to be able to see what's going on with the baby if the baby's up, whatever. So just so that you're aware of that. Video monitors. It's the same thing as the audio, just with a visual. It's like having like a little camera on the baby at all times, like a little web camera on the baby at all times. And then you have a device, whether it is your phone or it is an actual device. It's just a reassurance that the baby's doing okay. Sometimes it can prevent you, like I said, especially if you have a 2-story house or you have a really big home. Or let's say like you're outside gardening, you know what I'm saying? Depending on what your lifestyle is like, it's easier. The 2 types of video monitors that we're going to talk about, one is with Wi-Fi, one is without, again. With Wi-Fi, you're going to have access to your phone. Let's say you're at work, your significant other or somebody else is watching your baby. You can tune in and see what's going on with your baby, right? The con is that somebody else is going to have to be hooked up to that and have it on their phone as well. Depending on, again, which monitor you go with. The other thing is that I don't mean to scare you, but they have had a string of issues where people are hacking into baby monitors and they will say vile things to your babies. That's why I have not had a video one. However, I do plan on getting a video one because there is a second option, okay? The only thing that sucks is that you are not going to be able to, while you're at work, see it, but they have like a little device, right? It's just a little something where you can look. They also have it to where you can move the angles of where the baby is looking, right? Off Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi issues. You're not going to have anybody hacking into your system. You don't have to worry about the radio frequency. And it's like $40-$50. Real, especially if you're on a budget, that's probably the option I would go. You can have whoever's watching the baby just have that little device. You don't have to worry about somebody hacking into it. I don't know if they have a dual situation. If that's something that you might want to look into. I haven't found any, but that's just for me. Okay, back to the cons. It is more expensive than audio only. They can go up to hundreds of dollars. It's going to require you have a Wi-Fi account. Again, like I said, you might not have one of those where you have multiple people on one account. So only one person's going to be able to visually watch your baby at a time. It can get hacked into, whether it's your Wi-Fi or whatever system it runs on. So there is that safety risk, just so you're aware. And that's it for our little video presentation. I hope that I was able to give you plenty of information. I promise you, this isn't the only video I'm doing. I'm going to do a long series of just diving deep into everything baby related. So I want you to know this is a safe place. Any of your baby questions, please leave them down in the comments below. Let me know. No judgment. This is a safe place for all parents. Whatever questions you might have, even if you think they're ridiculous, leave them in the comments down below, because if I'm not answering them, another veteran mom, I'm sure, will be more than happy to answer them. Feel free to ask anything. I want to answer all of your questions. I want to deep dive into everything baby related. I will be having a presentation type of situation in case you want to write notes down. That's not for me, like, oh, I'm following every little thing or whatever. It's just so in case you want to write notes down, you want to take screenshots, whatever you want to do. I want to make sure you have all the information while I'm also talking to you about whatever's going on. So that is for you. Hopefully in the future, I'll also be putting this into a book. Also, I will be having a whole, I'll be eventually putting out journals and stuff like that to try and help moms out. Some of the products I will be putting out are going to be completely free, so don't you fret. I'm a budget queen over here too. So anyways, I hope this was helpful. Please subscribe. I'm coming out with a big 10-part series. I'll also eventually once I put all these series out, I'll put them all together. And so that way you'll have one long video that you can send to mom who might need the information, or if you prefer one long video, that'll be there for you as an option. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you guys next time. Queen. Yeah. You walk in the room and the vibe shifts. Girls tremble with the wind through the girl. These dreams sitting on your pretty little seats. We don't try hard, we just breathe and do it cheap. People look at you, serene. But heart got the body quick. Stand like you just see. Yeah, they don't know, be still, they say much of me.